John Schwartz is on the line. He's the president, director, and founder of Voqal, Voqal.org. Just a bit of disclosure here. I am on the board of directors of Voqal and have been for many years. But John is the guy who started this whole thing. John, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on, Tom.
It's great to have you with us. Sprint is involved in a dispute. There's something going on with Sprint that's going to impact or could impact low-income people. Tell us about this.
Yeah, this is a big deal. One of Voqal's principal projects is known as Mobile Citizen, and it provides unlimited high-speed mobile broadband service to many thousands of people through educational institutions and also through nonprofit organizations. And one of the types of nonprofits that we've worked with extensively bridges the digital divide, as they say in telecom speak, meaning that it provides broadband service to people who couldn't afford it otherwise. Right. We've got one nonprofit in the Twin Cities that says that in their user base, the average using family has about $12,000 in annual income. We've estimated that between the school enrollments and the nonprofits and everybody concerned, there are about 300,000 people that are affected. Now, we provide service through a contractual arrangement with a subsidiary of Sprint, and they operate an older mobile broadband network that runs on what's called WiMAX technology. And WiMAX is being phased out. It hasn't been a hit globally. And Sprint is switching to a network based on LTE, which you probably see advertised. The WiMAX network is scheduled for shutdown in less than a week. And we have not been able to migrate our users over to the LTE network. And I can get down in the weeds and tell you about the details if you want to hear it. But this is Sprint's fault. We built this whole project, and we badly want to continue it, and yet we're stuck. So we have sued Sprint. Voqal and another company that's on the same contract with us went to court and said that Sprint was violating the agreement. And of course, this is not just a dry legal dispute. This affects an awful lot of real people who really depend on this service. And there is a hearing scheduled in Boston tomorrow, and we've asked the judge to keep the WiMAX network going so that we can take these users, switch them over to the LTE network. We're right on the knife's edge as we're talking today. Is this entirely... We're talking with John Schwartz, the founder and director of Voqal. It's spelled Voqal.org is the website. And as I mentioned, I'm on the board of Voqal. John, although I'm not all that familiar with all the details of this, although I've, at the last board meeting, I heard you talking about it and I've read the stuff on it, but you're the guy who really knows this stuff. Is this going to be played out entirely in the courts, John, or is there anything that our viewers and listeners could do to help encourage Sprint to postpone the deletion of this WiMAX network so that the poor people that Voqal, or the low-income people that Voqal is providing, cheap or in some cases free broadband internet access to, can continue to do so? Well, we don't want this to go down quietly. I mean, we want everybody to know, and we want Sprint to know that people care about it. Mm-hmm. So there is something that folks can do. I know you have a very active audience of people who get involved, and you can go to the Mobile Citizen website. I'm going to look this just so I get this right. It's mobilecitizen.org, and that's all one word, mobilecitizen.org, and then the slash and stop Sprint. And Stop Sprint is all one word. Mm-hmm. And that's got the details on what's happening and what your listeners and viewers can do. Okay, and what can they do? Do they have to go to the website and click links, or is there a phone number, or is there, Yeah, that's why we put it all there in the website. We have a petition. There has been an awful lot of Twitter traffic about this, mm-hmm. Including a lot of Twitter that's been sent to Marcelo Claure, who's the chief executive of Sprint. Marcelo talks a lot about, caring about the digital divide and low-income people and the charitable purposes of Sprint. We want him and we want Sprint to stand behind that rhetoric, and they need to know that people expect it. Right. So the website, I'm looking at it right now, John. Thank you for that. The hashtag is Stop Sprint also.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so tweet this out. It's mobile, MOBILE, citizen, CITIZEN.org / stop sprint. And actually that redirects me to /LTE /.
Yep, that's right, because it has to do with the transition to LTE.
Yeah. So you can sign the petition. 300,000 Americans, low-income Americans?
Yes, if you add up the schools and the nonprofits and the libraries, 300,000 Americans
are going to lose their internet access next week.
Less than a week if nothing happens. Nothing stops it.
Wow. Now, is there any kind of legislative intervention? I mean, is this the sort of thing that people should call Congress about, or is it entirely, the battle between, us little, you and me and Sprint?
Well, the reason we were able to do this is we signed a contract with Clearwire, which a company that Sprint acquired. Things went very well under Clearwire, and they've gone poorly under Sprint. So I don't think that this is a matter of legislation, but obviously the more people that are focused on this, and the more that Sprint hears from people that they expect Sprint to do the right thing, the easier this is going to be.
Yeah.
We did not want to take this to court. I want to tell you, we tried to work this out, and it didn't work. Of course, as human affairs often are, everybody blames everybody when stuff goes wrong, and Sprint's trying to blame us. But I was there. I'm a witness, and I can tell you that we tried to put this through, and we were not able to, and Sprint's the reason.
John Schwartz, the founder and director of Voqal, VOQAL, the website mobilecitizen.org /stop sprint, the hashtag stop sprint. John, thanks for dropping by today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tom.
And we will tweet this out too as soon as we get off the air here. Thanks a lot, John. We'll be right back.